Well, guys, I am back to talk about another film that was nominated for Academy Awards, and the ceremony's already happened, but there's still a lot of films that were nominated that I hadn't got a chance to check out yet, and one of the ones that was high on my list was Damien Chazelle's Babylon. And what I find so interesting is, Damien, throughout his career, really has not made a polarizing movie. Most of his films have been really well loved and recognized by critics and just viewers alike. And this was the first film that I've seen of his that really had polar opposite reactions when it comes to how people felt about it. I think the Rotten Tomatoes score was even like a 56, which was incredibly low for his films. And so I was really looking forward to diving into this one. It's a 3-hour long epic, and it's all about the Hollywood industry. And so I was really looking forward to seeing it, and I'll be excited to talk about it today. Babylon is directed by Damien Chazelle, a tale of outsized ambition and outrageous excess, tracing the rise and fall of multiple characters during an era of unbridled decadence and depravity in early Hollywood. So in short, I really enjoyed this movie a lot. I'm not sure on the spectrum yet of how much I love it or like it. I'm somewhere like pushing love, but there's things about it that make me think I just like it a lot, and I'll talk about that a little bit more in the review. So on the grand scale of this movie, you have a character, Manny, played by Diego Calva, who is this guy who's just working as kind of a lackey for these people that are in the Hollywood industry. We're showing him early in the film. He's at like getting this elephant on this truck. Then he ends up going to this party. He's controlling all of these issues that happen through the party. And then you're introduced to our two other really lead characters of the film, who are played by Margot Robbie and Brad Pitt. Margot Robbie plays Nellie, who comes to this party. She's kind of an outcast and a nobody, and through this whole set of circumstances ends up becoming an incredible Hollywood actress. You have Brad Pitt, who plays Jack Conrad, who is like a really well-established actor. And so you're getting kind of all of these slices of life in the Hollywood machine, where you have this guy who is working his ass off to help these people, but he really wants to be on movie sets. He wants to, do all of these things and become part of something bigger than his life, in his own words. And you have Margot Robbie's character, who is essentially a nobody who, through happenstance, gets a job working on a film set. And then you have someone like Brad Pitt's character, who is this established actor trying to build his career to this level of stardom that's never really existed, and the trials and tribulations that come throughout. This film goes through the silent film era up to when talking pictures started, and the challenge for people when it comes to transitioning from silent film to talking pictures. There's a lot of references to Singing in the Rain in this movie towards the tail end, which I thought was really cool. The parallels in that were really great. And it's really just the story of Hollywood as a whole, and the gross, ugly, disgusting parts of Hollywood, and the really beautiful, funny, hilarious moments that exist when it comes to working on a film set. And that's the element of this film that I really like. There's this really huge sequence where they go into the middle of like the desert, and there's like 16 different films being shot on this lot at the same time, and it just really showed the chaos and the discomfort of working on a film set, while also showing the fun and the excitement and the energy that comes through working on a film set. And I like that dichotomy, and showing an audience who may not have any sort of idea as to what it's like to work under those conditions or work on a film set as a whole, and give them an idea of like, okay, this is exactly what it's like, this is how it feels. And there's another great moment when they transfer to talking pictures, and Margot Robbie's character is doing her first lines in a talking film, and the struggles that it was to record sound at that period. The cameraman had to be like in a hot box, essentially, filming so that you couldn't hear the whir of the camera because of how the microphone would pick it up at that time period. And I love all of those different elements of the film. I think all of the performances in this are fantastic. I really appreciate it, especially the three leads I was talking about. But you have this enormous cast of characters, all the way to like Tobey Maguire, who's in it for like 15 to 25 minutes of the movie, and everyone that shows up in it really gives a phenomenal performance. The biggest issue that I have with this film is the third act sort of loses itself. It gets to a point where, Damien Chazelle is showing this rise to stardom, and then like Margot Robbie's character becomes addicted to drugs because she can't cope with a lot of the things that come with stardom. You have Brad Pitt's character who gets to a point where he just hates acting because no one wants him anymore. He hit his peak and they're looking for other new, young, exciting actors and actresses to be in film, and so he just feels like, what is my place in the world anymore? And then you have Manny's character who is fighting hand over fist to just like get higher and higher in this industry that he is working so hard to be a part of. But in the third act, you get all of these little subplots that are introduced that kind of derail all of that, that take your mind out of it for a little bit. And that's really disappointing because I think that it was on the trajectory to be a perfect movie, and instead it kind of took it down a little bit for me to where I was still emotionally impacted. Although the third act, the ending sequence, which I'm sure a lot of people have shared online, some of it's kind of baffling. It takes like a surreal turn that I don't think necessarily works. There's parts of it I really like about it. There's parts of it that are just like, okay, you wanted to include like the look at all the different movies that have come out over the years, and that's fine, like whatever. It's Damien's project. He clearly had a vision in mind when he was putting that out there, and the vision didn't necessarily work for me in that segment. But I don't think that detracts from how enjoyable of an experience this is. For a 3-hour movie, it breezed by. I was kind of surprised that it was 3 hours because of how entertaining it is, other than in that last part where it just feels like it's starting to drag a little bit. And the cinematography in this was phenomenal. The score was absolutely incredible. Some of Justin Hurwitz's best work thus far. I think that it's just amazing. The horn sections in most of the songs were fantastic. There were so many amazing performance moments in this, and I do think it's being hated on too much. I think it's really enjoyable. I think it's a great critique of Hollywood while not being a masturbatory Hollywood film. There's moments that are like that, but I think it's a good balance of showing the good and evil that exists within that industry. And I think that if you're a fan of Damien Chazelle, this is a movie you're really going to enjoy. Or if you have an interest in the filmmaking world in general, or the history of like old Hollywood, I think this is a movie that you'll really appreciate. So have you seen Babylon? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought. I thought this movie was fantastic. I really appreciated it a lot. I thought that the performances were all really good, and I'm looking forward to revisiting this one. As always, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, it helps me out a lot and lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting out new material and look forward to getting more out for you in the near future. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.